Lily, uh, give me your most uncomfortable experience and how you got through it. Do you have one?
I do. I've actually been thinking this whole time if I want to share it or not because
Well, only
what?
if you're comfortable sharing.
Well, yeah, I'm comfortable with it. Because I was kind of thinking, I was like, oh, like my parents don't know about that. It was like certain. I started thinking, I was like, oh, like, because it's kind of serious. But after thinking about what Sam said about like stigma surrounding certain things, like sometimes it's hard talking about it, but it's good to share talking about it and like moving past it because well this one's is like kind of heavy too, like sexual assault, so that like I did experience that and I don't talk about it like some of my friends don't even know, but I went through
You
a
are
bit of
you are you are you sure that you are comfortable talking about that right now? Because
yeah,
I
I'm just kind of gonna I'm gonna talk about like my experience after because I think it's kind of
okay.
it's the same with anything. I guess traumatic is just kind of like digging yourself out of that feeling and like digging
Yeah.
yourself out of that hole because that was something I was experiencing a lot like my senior year of high school. So it was kind of like when I was deciding what college I wanted to go to, it was like I was making all these big decisions and I was feeling very kind of self-conscious. It made me very self-conscious. I I like to think I'm a pretty confident person, but like that it took a hit after that. And so I spent a lot of time like why me? Like, is it because I'm confident? Is it because I'm not confident enough? I was kind of like, what's going on with that? And so I went through like a weird period of like not really knowing what to do about that or like
Yeah.
what I was doing wrong. And then that's another huge reason I think I did pick Roosevelt just because it's when you're in a big city, you're surrounded by people that are sexually empowered. Like that was new. I was like, wow, that's kind of cool. I took a women in gender studies class my second semester last year, and it opened my eyes to a lot of things. I just felt way more comfortable with it. I was like, oh, we did a show of hands in class, like who's experienced like uncomfortable situations, and a lot of people raised their hand, and I was like, this. I don't feel like I would have felt comfortable like that in any other environment, and so I don't know. I like meeting new people and understanding that other people have gone through that because people back home do not talk about it. They don't talk about sex. They don't talk about female empowerment, like stuff like that. I was completely unaware of. And
Yeah.
so college has helped me through that. Something that I was dealing with for so long. I went to college and then it definitely helped. Like sometimes you just need a new group of people.
Yeah.
And that's what really helped me.
So what advice would you give to somebody who's in high school who is still trying to process everything and feels very isolated and feels very alone? Um, how can they help themselves now, or even in the future?
I think the biggest thing for me was not just being around people that were confident and, like aware of themselves and their sexuality and other stuff, but like finding that in yourself and finding out if you want that in yourself. Some people don't, like that's okay too. Some people don't want to continue looking that direction once they start. But I think like I don't even my professors were talking about their own like their own childhood stuff that had gone on, their own high school experience. And so I guess if I could go back and like talk to myself, I would just be like, look into what other people are saying, like understand that other people are going through this, but also that other people are doing work to be more comfortable in their body after it happened and just kind of like getting in contact or at least becoming aware that there's a way to bounce back from that and also like build on that. It sucks that it happened, but it happened. So like what can you do with that to like I guess empower yourself? Like how can you empower yourself through it?
Yeah. I think there's so many communities of survivors who are empowered. And of course, as a white male, sharing this, I'm very aware of who I am and my gender and all of that. So, I'm always very conscious of that. But I've been writing advice for years and have researched books and talked to many people who are survivors. And I even have a talk where there was one story where there was a student I was talking to who had never told anybody about her assault. And she talked to her roommate. And it was a very big moment because she had never talked to anybody about this. And she started crying. And it was just a very cathartic moment. And then the roommate, of course, was so kind and supportive. And then there was another roommate who overheard this and came over and started hugging her. Then the door was open and a couple other people heard. And all of a sudden there were, five people in the room hugging this person, letting her know that she's not alone,